Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to the parenting challenge. This is day 6. Come on. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Thank you so much for coming back again and again and again. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all those that have been sharing. I appreciate you a lot. God bless you. Okay, so my name is Rachel Opako. I am the founder of the Drip of Love family coaching platform. Is this going to be worth your time? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be worth your time. It's going to blow your mind. Okay, so we are on day 6 today, and we've been on a journey. If you are here and you can hear me, can you please give me a thumbs up? Can I have the thumbs up over and over again? Let me see that you are here. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Yeah, I can see your thumbs up. Thank you so much. Does a child have a least favorite sibling? Does a child have a least favorite parent? That is today's challenge. Does a child have a least favorite sibling? Does a child have a least favorite parent? Now, why do you need to know this? Why do you need to know if your child has? You need to know the reason. You need to know the reason. Sometimes when you ask questions, okay, who is your favorite? They might mention a particular name happily. Okay, so who is your least favorite? They might just casually call a name. But you need to know the reason behind that calling, that name calling. Why does a child, yes, naturally, as humans, we might prefer a particular person for a particular reason. Okay? Some of us prefer a particular parent, maybe because they spend more time with us, they were more available, they were more fun to be around. Yes, some parents are more fun to be around. Okay, for so many other reasons, some children may prefer a particular parent. But why do you need to know? You need to know if there is a negative or an ulterior different reason that you need to work on immediately. These things are not things that you allow to linger for a long time. They are things that you tackle as soon as you notice it. They are things that you have to tackle. Is that something that triggers disagreements among siblings? Okay, I think I'm going to be focusing a lot more on the sibling relationship today because yesterday we dealt on parents. Okay, but if a child prefers a particular parent, there should be a concern and to know exactly why it is so. All right, if a child prefers a particular sibling, you should know if there are disagreements, and if you should know what triggers those disagreements, what triggers those arguments. All right, what we do a lot of time as parents is to just shout, hey, and yell, will you stop that? Why are you shouting? Why are you doing this? And then most of the time, if it comes to the worst, we just maybe punish them or do something that will just shut them up, and then we just feel like everything is okay. All right, we're going to go on. How do they typically handle conflict and disagreements among themselves? How do your children, how do they handle conflict? How do they handle disagreements? And what happens after that? All right, most times one thing builds up on another thing when it comes to conflicts. It builds up, and if it is not properly resolved, it becomes a big issue because it just keeps piling up. And when they get to a particular point, as children, they are around the home. They know that you yourself, you know that there's nowhere they can go. They will always be there. That's why most of the time they start the silent treatment with each other, or they just start the silent treatment with you. Or most times, unconsciously, they just prefer to stay on their own. When they have a brother to play with, or when they have a sister to play with. I posted a video this morning of a boy saying, what's the point of having a brother if he wouldn't play with me? All right, and his younger brother was just laughing. Everyone was laughing. Well, probably they've noticed that he doesn't play with him. So when a child begins to feel that way, they go into their shell. They feel like, okay, in this environment, I don't have anyone for me. Let me just wait. When I get to school, I make my friends, I do what I want to do. And when I come back, I find a way to be on my own. One of Satan's strategy is to destroy the family. It has been on his agenda from the beginning. The family has been under attack from the beginning. And most of the time, we encourage these things because we act so indifferent, or we act so negligent of it. Like it doesn't matter. We don't take note of it. Sometimes we don't even notice it. That is the worst thing. That is why I put this question today, so that we will begin to notice if we have not noticed. Why do we have siblings and loggerheads today? Because of sibling rivalry that was not resolved. That is just it. Someone said, why do we have sibling rivalry? Because you decided to have one more kid and another kid and another kid. All right. So as long as children are together, as long as any two persons are together, there will be disagreements. There must be disagreements. In fact, if you've not observed disagreements among your children at any point in time, it should be a concern. Yes, it should be a concern. You should find out, okay, what's going on? Is it that they have this disagreements when I'm not around? It should be a concern. All right? Sibling rivalry, it will happen. Disagreements in the home, it will happen. Check, 100%, it will happen. But what happens when it does? What do you do about it? How do you go about it? All right? How do you go about it? Unfortunately, we have encouraged this agenda of the enemy. We have given in to his game. We have given him to his tactics by our negligence, by our indifference. His attack is not only on marriage. His attack is on our children, on their relationship among themselves, on parent-child relationship. That's why at some point you see that the home is it's just so chaotic. It will be chaotic if you don't try to create a system of peace that will bring that peace you desire, or that will bring that peace that God originally designed for the family. What is the essence of family? Have you ever asked yourself, what is the essence of family? There is no mistake with God. Like, why does it allow us to have one and then two children and three children? There is always a grand plan. There is always a grand plan. God had a plan. If you have 4 children, it is not a mistake. If you have 10 children, it is not a mistake. All right? There's always a grand plan. Okay, you have had the children. How do you manage them? To the point, have you ever noticed that there are always 2 divides when it comes to relationship and families? You see some family bonding so well, the children are playing together, jumping on each other, even when they are grown. Something was done. Their parents did something right when it came to building bonding and connection and all that. And the other one, their parents ignored something that was very important. Their parents ignored it or neglected it. So indifference is one thing we do not want to. It's one thing we do not want to add to this. The family is meant for unconditional love, warmth, support, connection. Being there, if I'm a part of a family, I should feel like I am a part of a whole. I'm a part of something where there is mutual respect, intimacy, trust. You know, imagine no matter how you meet friends later in life, you will never have that feeling that I have a sibling that has seen me as I was growing up, how I was playing, how I was talking as a baby, how I was behaving and jumping. There is no feeling. So imagine building on that bond. Who says siblings cannot be the best of friends? Who says they must have their best friends from outside their home? Who says so? Who gives the rules? Who says so? So we want to see a family where everyone is happy, where the children understand that, yes, disagreement is normal, but there must be a pattern to resolve this disagreement. There must be a pattern to come to a conclusion, or come to an agreement. security, belong, a sense of belonging. If your child does not feel a sense of belonging with their siblings, then there's a very big issue. There is an issue which you must look into seriously. Another essence of family is shared memory. I always enjoy when I'm with my siblings and we just start talking about the past, what happened. When I was 5, when I was 2, even when I sit down within another family and they're just talking about it, I just feel, oh wow, it's very interesting that you can just sit down and be remembering old moments, good old moments. It is always so interesting. But we will not have that if we don't keep our eyes down to notice, to build, to repair. Yes, to repair. Companionship. Sometimes siblings might start having feelings of resentment because they don't have that companionship. Instead of that, it's only anytime I'm at home, he's always looking for my trouble. And the funny thing is, they spend more time together. So even when they have very sweet moments, before you know it, a little thing will just cause disagreement, and there you go. But when they know, or when there is an eye on these things, and you know how to go about it, you will see that even among themselves, they will begin to resolve their conflicts without any issue. They will begin to resolve their conflicts. Now, social skills. Where is the first place we build social skills? From the family, from the home. That's why some persons will say, my son is shy outside, or he doesn't really, but when he comes home, because they are more comfortable. They are more comfortable around the home environment. They are more comfortable. But if there's an issue and there's resentment, you will see that they will start feeling discomfort. They will start shifting away. See, family, what is the essence of sibling relationship? A lifelong commitment. That the fact that you can just, whenever you're in your down moment, you can just pick up a call when you think about all that it is that you think you can do, and you've come to a conclusion that that is your last resort. You can just pick up your phone and call a sibling, especially when you know that it's something they can do. Do you know that the fact that siblings that bond, even when it is not something they can do, they will go all out. You need to come and see. You see how they'll go all out for each other. All right? When you see them, even when they're in their 20s, 30s, you know that the bond is there. The bond, see, if the bond is not there in their childhood, it becomes more difficult in teenagehood, because most times as teenagers, they go to boarding schools. From boarding school, some of them, they go straight. I just took my time recently to look at the number of times those that go to boarding school come back home. After first term, maybe they come back home 2-3 weeks. After second term, maybe they come back home 2-3 weeks. Third term, maybe they stay at home for like a month or 6 weeks. That is it for the year. So if that bond is not built in childhood, if your children are still less than 13, put your eyes, in fact, less than 10, because 10-year-olds are in secondary schools now. So you need to start working on it. Even if you have not noticed some form of conspicuous rivalry, you need to build systems that will make sure that they learn to work together, to bond. They learn to live together, not just cohabit, not just become housemates or children of one parent, or children of the same parent. That's how some persons see themselves. It's just my brother. It's just my brother. Some of them, they already feel like, one day I'll be out of here. I won't be in your face again. You know that point you get to where you just endure someone. You just endure for the while. Your mind is set on a goal, like, okay, it's just for a few years. When I go to the university, I will hardly come home. I'll just give them an excuse and all that. Your home environment is supposed to be comfortable, warm enough for your children, for their relationship as siblings. For their relationship as siblings. Like I said, The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17, a brother is born for adversity. If your children cannot stand up for themselves, then there is a big problem. The Message version even says families stick together in all kinds of adversity. Your children should not even have the perception or the mindset that they can always leave. Family is not a place that you start thinking, okay, I can always leave. When you have the mindset that you can stick together, you can do this together through thick and thin, we can do things together, we can bond, we can connect. See, no matter the offense, you can teach them this. Imagine if Mary and Martha were not close to their brother when he died, or did not have a form of. I could imagine the bond that made them cry, made Mary cry and say, Jesus, why didn't you come early if you were here? Only if you were here. That's the kind of bond I wish to see among siblings, where they go all out, like they are there. Financially, they're there for each other. Mentally, emotionally, they are there to support each other. Physically, they are there to support each other. But you need to know if there is an issue. Why does a child have a least favorite sibling? Why? They might just say, oh, because of this, because of that. But you need to look for a way to make sure that they begin to love themselves equally. They try as much as possible to ignore some of those excesses, which they will always see excesses. Every one of us, we have our excesses. We have things that even those that some persons might like or some other persons will not like these excesses. Don't we all have excesses? They need to learn to love themselves and love their excesses, love their extras. All right. We need to work on resentment. Resentment is one major reason for sibling rivalry, for the reason your child might have a least favorite sibling. All right. You need to teach your children that we are all different. We all have individual temperaments. We will all be different, but we need to learn to cope with one another. You need to teach your children. If one of the causes of resentment could come from you as a parent, this favoritism, comparing one child with another, setting your children up for competition. When you commend one person, every time you're commending only that person, every time you're complimenting only that person. And because you know that some children can really get on your nerves with their stubbornness, but there's something that a writer said: focus on the positives. See, there's nothing as good as focusing on the positive of a child. Instead of always complaining, oh, you did not do this, oh, you have not done this, oh, you have not done this, oh, why are you always like this? Why not just do the opposite of it? Notice the positive ones they do and focus on those ones. Encourage them more. And then you tell them, okay, I know you can also do this one. You begin to add some of those negatives into the positive. Begin to add them. Sometimes our conflict resolution skills or our conflict resolution pattern as parents is the reason for sibling rivalry. Two persons are arguing or two persons are having issues, but suddenly you have supported one person. And most times you just end it there and act like it never happened or act like it's okay. All right? You need to know. In fact, another thing is lack of harmony among parents. What are you modeling? What are you modeling? When you shout at each other in front of your children, what do you expect them to do? When you talk to use whatever language you use on your spouse, what do you expect your children to do? They will do the same with themselves. They will do the same. Yelling in the home, attacking each other, aggression is the reason sometimes some children just pick it up and then it begins to affect their relationships. Now, before we end, we are going to look at one major solution that can help us. You need to build peace systems in your home. Teach your children the essence of the family, like I have said earlier. Teach your children the reasons for resentment and how they can avoid it. What are your family values? In your home, is it that anything goes? They can shout, their tone, everything is loud, their body language, they can bang the door, they can hit, they can do whatever they like. There should be a communication system in your home. Let them know how to communicate with one another. What is expected of them? What is that thing they cannot do in your home or they cannot say? And then build a conflict resolution system where they learn forgiveness, where they learn to resolve their conflicts. And like I always say, modeling is, it always comes first in parenting. Modeling. What is your relationship with your, what are your children's relationship like? What are the relationships like? Have you noticed? Have you observed? Have you asked? I want you to do that today if you have not done it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy to have you again. I'm glad you did. Please join me again tomorrow as we look at another challenge. Bye.